Right, hello and welcome to Uncle Andrew's useful hit number 7. This is all about arrows this week. So what I'm going to show you how to do is to rebuild an arrow really from scratch. A couple of bits, arrow, pointy bit, knock. That's about all there is. No fletchings on this one so far. So the first thing we're going to do, if you've got a broken knock, is we're going to get it off. Now there are a couple of ways to do this. I'm going to use this magic heater thing. All I'm going to do is where the broken knock is, just warm that up nice and gently. Get a pair of pliers, give it a bit of a twist, and off it comes. And if you notice underneath, go on. If you notice underneath, there's a little taper bit, which is quite a nice little thing to have. Now on the other end, we've got a little point. And again, if they get damaged or get lost, you're going to need to replace those. So what we'll do on this one is just warm this up. To be honest, you don't need one of these fancy gas lighter things. Just a thing will do, a lighter or a candle even. You happen to have a candle. And they basically pull out, they're put in with hot melt glue, so they basically come out like that. Put them back together, it's just as simple. There's the end, there's my new point. I'm going to warm this up a little bit. I'm going to get some hot melt glue, this sort of stuff here. Give that a little bit of a gentle warm. Put a little bit around the edge of the hole in the arrow. A little bit of melting. A little bit more around. Now what we're going to do, warm the end of this up. And what we normally do is hold this in your hand rather than a pair of pliers. It might seem a bit silly, but if it gets too hot, it can damage the arrow. So we normally put that in, but if it gets hot enough that you can't hold it, it's too hot. Push that in, push it in all the way. That's when you might need a little bit of pair of pliers, just a scrunch, and that's done and dusted. On the other end, we've got our knock. We can get rid of this now, look, watch this. Go on. On the other end, we've got a knock. So all I'm going to do is get a brand new knock. And that's nice and clean now. We get some glue, and it doesn't really matter what glue you use. I tend to use this. Which is cheap modelling glue. Okay, so if you notice that the knock has got a little taper in that matches this, basically goes onto there. So what we're going to do, once that's been cleaned, get our glue, and I use this, this stuff here, Vital Bond CA, thick. Any normal glue will do, any glue that you normally use. That basically goes into there, push it in. I'd spin it around a couple of times just to smear the glue, and that's it. Just walk away and leave that now for about 20 minutes, half an hour, and life is good. Okay, so now our knock is all glued on. The point's in, and things are ready to go. These are things that you probably won't have to spend too much time replacing, but if you do, you know what to do now. The things that go are fletchings. And fletchings are a bit of a nightmare. They will fall off. However, I use a special secret ingredient. It's these. It's my little sticky wrap things. The Fletch Be Stuck 3000 system. So I'm going to put one of these on because these are the ones I always use. This is for a centre up in Scotland who ordered some. So if you've got some fletchings that are about to fall off, basically you need a sharpish knife. Not too sharp, not razor sharp, but just sharpish. Hold the knife. Now these ones have all got fletchings already off, but all I'm going to do is just cut through the fletchings, scrape them off, and then just rub this backwards and forwards, just until there's no glue on it. You can feel the little bumps of glue. You won't scratch the surface, they're anodised, they'll be fine. Nice and gentle till that's done. Okay, so that one's on. All I've got to do now is put this, just move some stuff out of the way, is put this on. This is basically a little sticky wrap. I'm going to unstick from this end. Now when you put these on, I normally do them on a mouse mat or just a bit of carpet or something that will, rather than a hard table. Now this one here, we've got the logo. We're going to put it downside down, outside downwards, with the logo down towards the point end of the arrow. Basically, get this up near the knock, line that up there, and just roll really gently. A little bit of a smooth down on that bit, and then roll over. One down there, and that's done. That's an arrow wrap on. Good, isn't they? Okay, so now what we've got is our arrow points in, the new knock is on and dried. The little arrow wrap thing that I put on is on. And next thing we need to do is to get the fletchings on. And the way we do that is we use a fletching jig. And they come in different sizes, different shapes. This one is, I can do 6 at a time. I have hundreds of arrows to do, so it makes sense for me to have these. A lot of the ones that you might have will just be single pot things, but they all work on the same principle. And the principle is that the arrow is inserted into the jig like that. Now on the end of the jig, I don't know if you can zoom in and see that, there's a little retainer thing that clicks round. And it clicks around, every click is 120 degrees. Now you want to make sure that this is orientated correctly for your index flexion on your arrow. So when this goes in, if you think about where the string runs this way, that's the groove, the string runs that way, it clicks on there, and the index flexion needs to point out this way. So it can only go on one way. So we just move that around, so this one is horizontal. Right, so we're going to line this up, look, click, so that's sort of horizontal. That means that when this goes in, the slot runs that way, the groove runs that way, the index flexion needs to point up here. Along with this, we get these, they're just like little bulldog clips. Some of them are slightly different ways of doing them, but that's basically it. It's got a round bit and a slot. Get our fletching. Don't use second-hand fletchings, by the way. Don't try and scrape the glove. It's not worth it. They never stick. We open it up and we put the blade of the fletching into the jig. And if you look, there's a little cutout here. Now that cutout and the end of the fletching need to line up together. Yeah? That makes sense? Once we've done that, we're going to get some glue. And for these, because I use my little fletching wraps, I only put 4 spots of glue on. One at each end and a couple in the middle. Turn that upside down. Slide that onto there. And that's basically it. When you've done it, if you want to just come around and look into this bit, this one's already been done. And all we do is this one, when that one's finished to dry, about 20 minutes, take the clamp off, click this round again, click, put your new fletching in, slide that into there, and that automatically sets it at 120 degrees, if that sort of makes sense to everyone. Yep. So that's just gone into there like that. That's pretty much it really. So just yeah. Oh, hang on. Okay, so that's in. That's ready to go. We'll just move that to one side. What I would suggest you do also, even if you use these wraps, to stop the fletchings coming off, is when you've taken them all out, this one's still got one to do, when you take them out, get your glue and just put a tiny dab of glue on that end and then go topping and tailing, and it just helps with sticky little kids' fingers, grabbing them, stopping them, lifting them off. That's pretty much it really. That just lays down there to dry. 20 minutes later, they'll be hard enough to use. I would suggest probably leaving them overnight, because that makes it a bit better. Right, that's about it for fletchings. There's lots of things. One thing I did promise at the end was a free ukulele chord. Today's chord is C. So take your ukulele thus, press, I normally use my second finger on here, onto the 3rd fret of the 1st string, the top string, like that, and there we go. And that's pretty much it.